Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of Saints OG. I have a special guest today, Bruce Jackson. We know him as BJ. He is a former dynamic running back. Played for St. Aug in New Orleans, Carver High School. Went to Southern. He's now a teacher, an educator, a coach, actor. He's done a little bit of everything. Um, he is a Louisiana sports legend, and I'll let him tell you why as we get into this interview. Bruce Jackson. Hey Bruce, how you doing, BJ?
I'm good, man. How you all doing?
I'm blessed, man. So, how far back do you remember being a Saints fan? What was your first game in person you
Wow.
attended?
My first game must have, I think it goes back to like 1972, between 72 and 75. I'm not sure the actual date, but I think it's between those dates.
You remember who they played?
Yeah, it was the Saints at Tulane Stadium, and they played the Raiders.
Did they win or lose?
You know what? I think they lost that game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they lost that game.
And how old were you about?
In 75, I was 12 years old.
Was that your first professional football game
Yes,
attended?
it was my first game, Tulane Stadium. Yeah,
So as a and you're older. That's not like being 5 or 4. I'm assuming you're playing ball at this point.
I was playing middle school ball at the time.
Okay, so how did it feel
Yeah,
going into the stadium with the sounds and this team and all of this?
man, it was amazing after just watching park football and high school football. And never saw a college game. That was my first NFL game. So yeah, in a big stadium with a lot of fans who
Uh,
really adored the Saints. NFL. It was amazing. It felt real good. I had an adrenaline rush being in a stadium that size, looking around at all the people cheering,
right,
you
right.
know, everybody into the game. So
How,
it
how
was
did
amazing.
how old were you when you first started playing football?
I go back, I don't know, I go back to when I was a kid
Right, that's what I'm
and we
talking
used to
about.
play. We used to play touch football and sandlock, pitch up tackle. It wasn't nothing.
And
It
you had
was something when
how many brothers you had?
I had an older brother who was like 3 years older than me, and I had a younger brother who was 2 years younger than me.
So it's three of you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
but this started from really playing pickup in the street with the kids in the neighborhood.
right.
Everybody we used to go to backyards, front lawns, wherever we can find a place to play, and we used to play pitch up tackle.
So
And
how old were you when you started playing organized football?
I started playing organized ball when I was in sixth grade. I only played 1 year park football, and
And,
it was at a park in the neighborhood called Richard Lee.
and that was the name of the
Yeah,
park, Richard Lee.
yeah, and that was my first year playing. Man, it's a funny story because we used to. My mom used to work two jobs, so she'd go to work early in the morning and get off real late in the evening, like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening. So after school, me and my brother would go to the playground and practice for football. My mom didn't know we were doing that, and that was my first year playing. And first year playing, the coach had me. I was a little bitty guy playing. He put me on the offensive line. That was my first year, so
Uh,
I didn't know much about organized football. So he threw me on the offensive line as an offensive tackle. I was one of the shortest kids out there.
right,
He had all the kids who had been playing with him for years as his star players in the positions that
right,
glorified positions: running back, quarterback, wide receiver,
right.
and before practice, we used to play pitch up tackle, and I used to be running all over him doing pitch up tackle. And the quarterback told the coach when he got there one day, Coach, put him at running back. And the coach said, that little bitty thing there? And he said, okay, we're going to see. So we practiced that day. He didn't put me at running back.
Uh,
The next day we went to practice. Coach didn't park his car where he usually park it, so nobody thought we thought he was running late. He hit his car. and he was watching us out the window of his office play pitch up tackle,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't know he was there. So he came out and he started practice, and he told me, he said, "You get that running back." And that was my first time being at running back. That year
Wow.
we must have played about 8 games, and I wound up making the All-Star team my first year playing.
First year playing.
Yeah.
Wow. So when was your next playing experience?
My next playing experience was when I went to 7th grade. I went to Lawless Junior High School.
Okay.
And I went out there to play with them. I should have went back to the playground, but I went to Lawless to play with the at the school.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't get to play because they had all the older
Older
guys.
guys.
They were much bigger.
And you still had 1 year eligibility on the park, right?
Yes, I did.
But you decided to go play with the big boys. So do you think you benefited as a player?
I regretted it. I mean, it didn't really hurt me, it probably did in a way because I didn't get to play. But
Uh-huh.
what I did get was to learn what they were doing out there in
Right. To
middle
watch.
school, how they hitting the dummies and how you hold. I was holding the dummy. Them boys was hitting them dummies and knocking me 5, 10 yards back. So I learned how to hold a dummy and not let them knock me around like that.
So I'm assuming
Yeah.
that probably helped you later on as a blocker, as a running back?
It did. It
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
It did. I got to see older kids and how tough and hard they was, how hard they hit,
Right.
and the things they did. And picking up on that, it made you a better player.
So going in your 8th grade year, did you get more playing time?
Yeah, I got playing time. I got to play backup running back, which I thought I should have been starting, but they had, coach played the older kids who were in 9th grade.
Uh-huh.
I was in 8th grade at the time. But my 9th grade year, same thing, I had a coach who, this is where I first learned what favoritism and coaches playing favorites about.
Uh-huh.
He didn't play me, he didn't start me at running back, but he started this other guy who I was better than. But,
Right.
it's up to the coach.
So
And you run across that. Once I learned that, I start seeing that from high school on up. You gotta, it's up to the coaches.
right.
They
So
play who they want to play.
and so you got an opportunity, you got a scholarship to go to St. Aug, right?
Yeah, it was. They called it a scholarship. I mean, St. Aug had a tuition, and went to St. Aug. I didn't have to pay anything. They,
Right.
they
Right.
had us paying $10 a month, really.
Were,
So
were
we
you
were in
were you
some kind of
eligible to
really.
play in your sophomore year, your first year at St. Aug?
No, since I was the school wasn't in the district.
Gotcha.
I didn't live in the district of St. Aug,
Right. So
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 I had to
actually,
sit out a year.
I want to go back to your 9th grade year because you split in time with another guy, but yet and still you still got a scholarship to St. Aug. So
Yeah.
you played enough for them to see what you had.
Well, they didn't really come see. They didn't see what he had. They just, if you wanted to go there,
Okay.
they work. You tell them you want to go there, and they pick you up. You go there, and once you get there, they see what they got. They
Gotcha.
didn't.
Gotcha.
They didn't come
See,
watch us play.
okay, I thought it was like, we want the best guys, and so you come through here, we're gonna work with you, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it really was. I thought it was the coaches referring, but it wasn't even that. If you was a little kid coming out of middle school and public school and you wanted to go to a private school at St. Aug, you go. And
Right,
some of the kids had to take tests.
right, right.
And, some of us
I,
didn't take tests. I
see,
didn't take a test.
see, I had to take a test. Yeah,
I just went, and we wanted to go. And, okay, y'all come on over. Y'all gonna play on a football team. They put you in a certain grade track of the school. They got the A track, the B track.
right.
They put you in that. If they, whatever one you're in, they put us in the E track. Even damn make a damn get an E on your
Right,
report
right.
card. So they put us in the E2 track.
Right. Which meant
But,
these are guys that's coming from the public middle schools that we're gonna have
yeah,
on band,
we're gonna
basketball,
use their
football,
asses
track.
for football, for sports. That's all. Basically, what it was saying.
Got you. So
Uh,
you didn't play because you were ineligible your sophomore year, but you was on a team that won the state championship, the
yeah,
second back to back.
I was out there with them practicing and being on the scout team, running other team plays. Saying like they do in the NFL. They got their scout team.
Were you able to go off on them in practice? Could you do?
Yeah. I used to score a lot on them because I was running other team plays.
Right,
I
right.
got familiar with the seniors who was playing, and I was at the time that was Darryl Songy and Malcolm Scott and
Yep, yep.
a bunch of players who went to big schools and played ball.
Right. When some of them went to the NFL, didn't stay long, but
Yeah, went to Malcolm Scott went to the
right,
NFL.
the
Darryl
Giants.
Songy went to Oklahoma and played.
Yep.
He did well out there, but for some reason he had some issues.
Right,
in
right,
college. Like they say, the Louisiana boys always starting trouble, bad seeds.
right,
We,
right.
we go to college and mess up and get in trouble and start trouble, and then people get rid of you eventually.
So you're talking about like the '70s and '80s. You think it's like that now still?
No, it's not like that now. What happened was in the 70s and 80s, like they say, that the kids, the athletes were real good coming from Louisiana, but the coaches say they couldn't control them. They were out of
Gotcha.
control,
Right,
behavior wise,
right, right.
and
And that was
they
anywhere they
started
went outside of Louisiana, huh? Pretty much.
they stopped recruiting. They stopped recruiting for Louisiana for a while. So my senior year, and a little bit beyond, they had stopped recruiting Louisiana players at these big universities. And then all of a sudden, like right after my year, they started recruiting again. And then 10 years later, you got uh, Marshall Falk going to San Diego State, and a
Right.
couple other players coming out of high school
Leroy
going to
Horde, yeah, all these different
going
guys.
to big universities. They
Sean
thought that
Jackson.
what they realized was that we can't these boys from Louisiana mentality is so messed up, but we got to get them because they're hell of athletes.
Right.
So they started recruiting them anyway,
Right.
and they started seeing that we got to learn to control these boys and deal with these kids. We had to
Right.
deal with them different ways.
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
but they needed that athletic ability from
And then you know
Louisiana
what
and
I'm
all of
thinking too,
them.
man. You got to think about it. Black kids wasn't really starting to be accepted to major universities until the early '70s, anyway. So you're talking about us at
Exactly.
the end of the '70s. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And
Yeah.
so yeah. And I guess that's kids from any inner city, like
Yeah, they
kids
just didn't
from New
know how to.
York or Chicago.
They just didn't know how to deal with us, man.
Right. So
You know.
moving on to your junior year, did you get playing time?
Yeah. The first 2 or 3 games, I didn't get too much playing time. I got a little time after we blew people out, but eventually they start moving me in there. They start seeing my skill level, and they start moving me in. And like the fourth game of the season, starting. And from
Wait,
the fourth game to
wait,
toward
you said from the fifth game of the season?
about the fourth game, of the season.
Was that your
Third or
breakout
fourth.
game, the homecoming against Chalmette?
Yeah, that's what was considered my breakout game at homecoming.
You remember
Yeah.
your stats from the day?
I know I had over 100 yards. I had an 80-yard touchdown. I had 2 touchdowns in that game, but I knew I had a long 80-yard touchdown.
How long was the other one? You remember?
The other one was about 10 yards.
And did you have
But
some other long runs that weren't scores?
in that game, I had a few 15, 20-yard runs, but nothing really, really long.
Yeah, I just
But
remember you just kept breaking loose.
yeah, that game it felt easy,
And
It
your
was like an easy
your
game to me.
and let me just say, you were what modern running back would you say? Maurice Jones-Drew, Sproles, Sanders?
I go back. I think I was more of a Emmett Smith
Okay,
type cap runner.
but you were
I
quicker.
had, I'm about to say, I had some Barry Sanders skills in me as far as quickness, but
Right, right.
more of a Emmett Smith to me. I wasn't as quick as Barry Sanders, but I had some of that in me. But I had more of a quickness plus I could break tackles.
Right,
You know,
strength.
I was a hard person to bring down.
And you had great pad level because you're already a short
Yeah, that low center of
built guy.
gravity.
I
Yeah,
remember seeing you first time I saw you was I was a freshman and you were a sophomore. And we had gym at the same time with different coaches,
yeah,
and so I remember seeing how when you guys were out playing ball, just at gym. They had a couple of guys in your. As a matter of fact, most of you guys probably were athletes, in your class.
Yeah, a
And
lot
I
of
remember
them.
watching you guys playing. I said, man, them cats, they real athletes. And so yeah, man. So then to see you in that game, in Chalmette game, so that's your junior year. You remember any stats or any other big games that are memorable?
I don't remember all the stats. I just know in a lot the games I did play. I always had a breakaway long run or a long touchdown.
Right,
And
right.
that was my mo. Everybody know when I play,
You was a
I'm
home
gonna
run
have a
hitter.
long run. A long touchdown in the game. That's what they was looking for. You know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you from a fan side, man. As watching the game, and I'm a year under you. You were like the first Darren Sproles to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
I hear that. I hear that a lot. But we had one the year before. Two of them. We had two of them the year before that.
who?
We had Alvin Martin
Yeah.
and what's the other little running back name? He was the starter.
Not Dimitri Bute.
Dimitri Bucci. That's right. Them
Yeah,
two
but see
guys.
you. Yeah, they were small guys, but I'm telling you, you was different, bro.
Well, and see, that's what I don't know because
Right.
I never saw me from sitting in the stand.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know
no,
what I'm
you were
saying?
different, bro. You were a little bit
But I
more.
saw them. I saw how they run from sitting in the stands,
Right.
and I kind of modeled myself because I really admired Alvin Martin's style.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I get to talk to him every now and then.
And look,
Uh,
man, both of those guys were great runners.
yeah, yeah.
Uh.
And before then, I followed St. Aug from like '74. My
Uh.
cousin was playing on the '74. He was on the '75 state championship team
Okay.
as a defensive back. And I was watching all of them boys from way back then. They had some good running backs. St. Aug
Ronnell
kept a
Quinn.
stable. They kept a stable of running backs, man.
Look, Coach Burns was one of them horses back, in the early
Hmm.
'70s, late '60s.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing, man. It's like I call you a local legend because you came out of nowhere at that homecoming game, and it was
Hmm.
the talk of the town, literally. You just playing
Hmm.
ball, you doing your thing, you guys, y'all all competitive, y'all doing your thing. But I remember us as fans of the team.
Yeah.
It's like Rashid, like oh my goodness, we got another weapon. This
Hmm.
dude here, and you were electric, because like you said, that was your MO. Dimitri and
Yeah.
your boy, they were consistent to me. They were constantly getting positive and tough yards.
Hmm.
Yours just seemed like it was a little Barry Sanderish to us. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's because you were shorter than them, you were built differently. It was just something different, bro. I couldn't tell you what it
Yeah.
was.
Well, I modeled myself on being quick. Even as a kid playing sandlock and playing touch football in the street.
Uh
I
huh.
modeled, I used to do a lot of drills to improve my quickness. And
And I'm gonna
it
tell you,
paid
man,
off.
something about playing touch, man. It's like when you're playing pitch up, tackle, or touch football, or even flag. You got to do, a lot of times as a receiver, as a running back, you're like, I don't even want to get touched.
Hmm.
Even
Exactly.
if we playing tackle, I don't even want to put a finger on me.
Exactly. And
And,
that's where it really improved my skills. And
right,
used to talk to my son because this generation don't play touch. They
right,
don't play pitch up tackle.
right.
And we did that every day. So it was like every day you catching 40, 50 balls,
Yep,
running
yep.
40, 50 or more routes,
You got to make
playing
a
defensive
split
back.
second. As soon as you catch up, the
Exactly.
ball bouncing your hand, you got to make a split section. What you gonna
Exactly.
do?
In the street with about 10 other people around you.
Right, right. It's like you and 8 people trying to tackle you.
Yeah.
Right.
And it worked out, but it made you quicker. It made you uh, pay attention more, with that ball coming at you. Like I
Yep.
said, we caught 50 balls or more a day, bro.
Right,
If
right.
not.
I mean, that's all we did, bro. We played a little basketball, but the
Yeah,
majority of football was damn near season long. You know.
exactly. I don't care. In the hot sun,
Yep.
in the cold winter,
We
we out there
most
in the street
we
playing.
mostly played basketball during the summer.
Yeah,
We played
yeah.
football year round.
Man, we had a basketball goal and a little court in the yard, bro. Nice little concrete slab in the yard.
Nice.
And we played more football than anything.
Right,
You know?
right, right.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. I had a goal when I lived in Holly Grove. We had a carport. My dad put a goal over the carport, and I would be throwing the football in the
Uh,
goal, trying to.
yeah, we used to do all that, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah, but we won my junior year at Western. We won state. You know,
right.
that was my junior year when I started, and then going into
No,
my
your sophomore
sophomore
year we
year.
won
My sophomore
state.
year we won too. Like I said, I was on the practice squad,
Right,
so
right.
they counted me as a player too. As you know, they gave me a jacket patch for that too. But my junior year we won it, and I got playing time.
Okay,
You know,
okay. There you
yeah,
go. So your junior year, okay, wait. So you had St. Aug from what, 79, 80,
78 to 80.
78 to 80. Okay. So
Yeah,
78, 79. So your first year was my first year, my freshman year,
yeah,
your sophomore
that's
year.
right.
Okay.
hmm
So we had won that year, and then we won the
hmm
next year. You're absolutely right.
My
Back to
junior
back.
year, right? And then going into my senior year, after our junior year, our head coach, Coach Walsh, wound up being recruited at LSU.
Yep.
You know, as a package deal because Malcolm Scott went there, and they decided they're gonna hire Coach Walsh as an assistant coach, and he
Gotcha.
went over there and left instead of the school leaders hiring one of the assistants. They didn't hire an assistant. They wound up hiring
An
a guy
outsider.
from out of town, from
Cunningham, he
outside
was
of
on Vince
Louisiana,
Gibson's staff
Jay
at
Cunningham.
Tulane. Yep.
Yeah, they wound up hiring him, bringing him in, and he knew nothing about Louisiana football.
Right.
And he got there, he didn't know our offense. He wanted to implement his offense, and that why would you do that if you got a
Right.
team that just won state 2 years in a row? You come and change the whole system up.
Right.
You know
Right.
how long it's going to take for them to get familiar with this offensive system?
Right.
And he came in there, and I didn't get the opportunity to play with him because the summer going into my senior year, I wound up getting put out of school and going to cross town to the rival school, my district school, which was Carver.
Right.
You
Now,
know,
so tell me about that. So you go to St. Aug and you make an M. You can't play your sophomore year. You win state championship, and there's a key part of that deep running back rotation. Before we get to Carver, but I want to ask you, do you remember the running backs who were the main running backs the year that you played your junior year, your last year at St. Aug?
Alvin Martin, my junior year with the guys I played with.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, my boy, we still in touch with each other. A bunch of us. Hurst,
Okay, Emil Hurst, right?
Emil Hurst. They got Clifford Ratliff.
Yep, Big Cliff.
They had Keith Wright.
Yep,
They
remember
had a
Keith?
senior who played quarterback named Walden Julian, who went to
Yep,
Lawless with me. He was a
yep.
year ahead of me.
He used to play safety too, right?
No, he didn't play no defense.
You
He didn't
sure?
play any
KJ
defense.
didn't play safety at one
Uh-uh.
point? Okay.
Not Cage. You talking about? I'm thinking Walden Julian, not Walden Cage.
Okay.
Walden
Walden Jr.
Cage, my cousin, he played safety
Okay. Okay.
in quarterback.
Yeah.
He went to LSU.
Yep.
But Walden Julian went to Lawless with me. He was a year ahead,
Okay.
and
Real
he
kind of quiet
actually
dude, right?
yeah, bro. But he should have been starting. But since they knew Dixon a little more, they put Dixon in there,
Uh-huh.
and Dixon got in there. He did real well, and
Right.
held on to that position.
Right.
But we have Walden Julian, Keith Wright,
Yep.
and we had this other guy real good was Kenneth McGee.
Yeah, I
Kenneth
remember
McGee.
Kenny McGee. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we
He
had,
had a
and
gold
then,
tooth, right?
yeah, and we also had what's the little young boy name? Can't think his name now. He was real good too. He came up under us.
He was under y'all. Was he right behind you?
Yeah, right. A year under me. Can't think of my boy name now.
Okay.
I got his face in my head, but I can't
If
think
you
his
think
name.
about it, yeah, Carl, I won't give a shout out to all those OG part
Yeah.
of that state championship running back, man.
Uh-huh.
Y'all was doing it, and so you get put out, then you go to Carver. I'm assuming you know a lot of the guys on the Carver team from
Yeah,
being
because
at Lawless,
a lot of them went to a lot of those guys went to Lawless with me.
or you either played
You know.
against them, for whatever teams they played for in the surrounding districts. So,
Yeah, we played when we was at Lawless. We played against them. A lot of them with that coin.
so how was
I
that experience coming in? It's the senior year, and you're walking into a team that's been together maybe 2-3 years,
Yeah.
Who was the head? Was Johnny Harris still in the coach?
Yeah, Johnny Harris was the head coach at the
Was
time.
that his last year, or he coached after
No,
that?
he coached many years after that too. I'm
By the
not
time
sure.
you
Yeah,
got there, he had to be what, in his 60s or 70s, right?
yeah, he was an old dude,
So
he knew his game though.
he been there for like probably 20, 30 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So how was that?
And
How did you how did that play out for you
well,
coming in?
he knew me from Lawless. He used to get most of his players from Lawless
So
and Cohen.
he was aware who you were.
So he wanted me to come there straight out of Lawless.
Gotcha.
And my mama didn't want us to go to Carver. She didn't want us to mingle with the guys in the project because she knew we was gonna fight.
Right.
So she was trying to protect us. And I wanted to go to Carver because I had a lot of friends from Lawless going to Carver. I knew him,
Right. And you know what? I think I remember the name. Was it Juice? Gregory Alexander?
Juice, that's right. That's
Juice.
right.
Yeah.
Juice, my boy. Gregory Alexander.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a hell
Little
of a running
younger
back.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
And
our class.
when I
Yes.
when I left and went to Carver, he wound up being one of the starters.
Exactly. All right.
And
So so let's go back to Carver. So
went to Carver and like I said, my mom didn't want us to go because she was trying to protect us from the people in the project, the boys in the project, they was gonna fight in that Desire project.
Right.
But most of the people, my neighbors and everybody from Lawless I knew went to Carver.
Right.
And that's where I wanted to go. And
when I was acting a fool at St. Aug, my mama says, I'm gonna send your butt to Carver. And she didn't know a lot of my friends lived in projects.
Yeah. So I got to Carver, man. It was funny, went over there and they would practice. Well, they were supposed to be practicing. They were on strike because Coach Harris was busting their behinds. This was around the time when guys started standing up against the paddle, and especially in public school. Wow. So Coach Harris, they got tired of Coach Harris busting their behind with the paddle. He was old school.
Wow.
And they was on strike. The football team was on strike.
So you get there and the football team on strike.
Nobody going. Everybody on strike. So they heard we got this little running back coming from St. Aug and Bruce Jackson coming. And they were supposed to be on strike. All of a sudden, I started seeing one come in, two come in, three come, and all of them started coming to practice.
Right.
They Coach Harris said, y'all ain't coming in unless y'all get your ass but. So they started coming in the next day. So that day we had a meeting. And the next day we had practice, and that was my first day of practice at Lawrence.
Wow, that's crazy. That's funny, bro. My first day at Kennedy, the student body walked out of the classes because they didn't have AC.
Mm-hmm.
The first, I left St. Aug going into my junior year. The first day, everybody, I said, man, I thought it was a bomb threat. They said, nah, man, everybody, we protesting, they don't have, they got fans. They don't have AC in this building. It's hot. But, So yeah, man. So how long did it take you in practice to get noticed? I mean, you said
it didn't, bro.
Your coach knew who you were.
They knew who I was already. A lot of the players, like I said, they knew me. They had already spread the word around the Desire community, the Desire Project community, and Carver community. They had already spread the word. This little guy, Bruce Jackson.
There was an excitement. There was an excitement.
It was. Tell you, sure, let you know how excited it was. It was about within that weeks of practice we had a scrimmage coming up against Booker T. Wow. And all our coaches who left St. Aug because they didn't get the job
went to Booker
Coach
T.
Burns, Coach Flint, Coach Simmons, all of them went to Booker T.
I remember that.
And they came to Carver Field back there, the scrimmage Carver, and I don't think they knew I was on Carver team. So before the game, I started speaking, hollering, shaking their hands, Flint and Burns and them, and Simmons, and Flint was always my boy. Flint was like, uh-oh, we got trouble, coach. We're going to have trouble today, coach. He out there on the field. So the first 10 plays of offense, I didn't play. They played the other running back because I just had been to practice a few days.
Right.
So the second time we got the ball, nobody scored on it. When Booker T got it 10 plays, nobody scored when Carver got 10 plays. The first time, the second 10 plays of Carver offense, he put me in. He called the first play, and it was a play for me to carry the ball. And we was like about 75 yards from the end zone. And he handed the ball off to me going up the middle to the left side. And it was like 2 steps past the line. Wow. Touchdown.
Bam.
Everybody, man, but what was amazing to me was that the stands were full of people like it was a real game.
And this was just a scrimmage.
They came to see me, bro.
Let
All
me
I'm saying, man, we came to see you, bro. You're gonna be our new player. We're coming to see and say, bro, that first
let me tell
play.
you something about that Carver. My parents both went to Carver, and most of their siblings, with the exception of maybe one or two. So you're talking about 12 people. 11 of them went to Carver. Carver, I remember going to Carver games. My uncle Julian, who the actor.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, my first high school game I went to was one of his games at Tad Gormley, and so from that point on, man, I always make it when I lived in New Orleans, either St. Aug, Kennedy, or Carver to go at least one game a year. One of those places. But Carver has always had a strong, whether it's basketball, track, football, they've always had a strong, support system from their alumni. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. But they look, man. You coming there was like is the equivalent of Tom Brady coming to Tampa Bay. Because they were like, yo,
nice,
so
they
continue,
accepted
bro.
me in, man. They accepted me in that community, bro. Project, the people in the project, but they weren't as bad as my mama thought they was.
Right.
I used to go to their houses. They accepted people used to feed me in their houses, tell me you could stay the night and that. But some of the people had better furniture than in their project apartment than we had in our house, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice, man. They took me and
so it was like you had like a small town Texas experience in high school.
Yeah,
by going to Carver.
I could walk through the projects. I had never been in the projects before that Carver experience. I could walk through the projects and everybody knew who I was and would protect me. Like, hey, man, ain't nobody gonna do you nothing. You're the man around.
Look, I ran across you in the projects a couple of times.
Yeah, I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was it. We went there. We beat Booker T in that scrimmage, man. And Coach Flint was out there yelling, and Burns he was like, I told her, and everybody in the stands. It was like a real game. The people in the stands, man. See, after that game was over, I had to really set my mark there. After that,
so word was on. This is before social media.
Yeah,
word on the street. Carver got that dude.
Yeah, Carver got that little dude from St. Aug who went to Lawless. And that little dude went there and a little scrimmage we had against Booker T and showed him who he was, and that was it from there on.
So going through your season, your senior and only season at Carver.
Oh man, I had a good season. I had about 15 touchdowns.
Wow.
About 1,300 plus yards.
Wow.
And
were they throwing the ball to you?
They didn't do it enough.
Right.
They should have been doing it more. But back then they didn't throw to the running back like talking about.
Right. Not at that level. Not even in college. Not even in college.
They threw a couple of them to me, man, and it was like, Coach, the quarterback, he would overlook me. I'm wide open. He won't throw the ball long.
Exactly. They're
but
looking
he threw the
downfield.
ball short. He threw the ball short to me a couple of times, and I got him up 50 plus yards. Right. And I was like, that's what's going to happen if you throw it to me, bro.
Right.
I'm going to make you look good, too. They didn't throw the ball a lot to the running back, and they should have did that back then.
So you wasn't you already answered the question. They didn't take advantage of your screen ability.
No, they didn't take advantage of me to my receiving ability at all, man.
Wow.
But
and that's just because of the nature of the game back then.
Yeah, they didn't do it that much.
And even the passing game.
St. Aug did it a little more than the average school.
Right.
But they
still not to the level of right.
What they doing it today.
Exactly.
They doing it up today. I'll be like, man, I wish I was playing in today ball.
Right.
So catching them balls out the bat. A matchup with a slow linebacker, man, I'm gonna run passing juke him all the time and get open.
Or you got these guys who don't have good technique at that level.
Yeah.
Bam, cross their feet up.
And you know what made you good at that? That street ball we used to be playing, bro.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
That made you good with the linebacker, the running back on the linebacker.
Right.
Ain't no way in the world you're gonna keep up with it.
Right. And
that's where San Francisco little running back Cam, what's his name? McCaffrey. Came from Carolina.
Yeah. He
that's what he good at.
Yeah. That's his game right there.
Yeah.
I watched him at Stanford, bro, and I was like, he the
Mm,
real deal.
yeah.
What was
He,
your most memorable game in your senior year?
at Carver, my
Yeah.
most memorable game. Oh man, I don't know. I had a lot of good games. I don't
Were
think
you
I
all
just
state?
had
Did you make
one.
all state?
I didn't make all state, made all district. I was the MVP of the offense of my district of District 9.
Uh huh.
I
You
made
didn't make
that.
like second or third team all state?
No, they didn't. For some reason, I don't know what they had. They had two guys I know who should have made it,
Uh huh.
and they had this other guy play for Brother Martin who made it, who I don't think should have made it,
Uh huh.
but I should have been in it. You
You
know,
remember his name?
the
From Brother Martin, the running back.
can't remember his name right now.
Okay. Oh, who else was on that Carver squad? Who were big playmakers and names? Did you play? You weren't there with the
Donald,
twins, huh?
no, they had just left. They had left the year before me,
Okay.
before I got there. They had this guy named Donald. Can't think of Donald's last name. Donald and Ronald. They had two of them. They weren't twins, but they were two brothers, and they were on that team. But Donald was he played safety. This dude was good. Had
Okay.
nice side for safety. Hell
Right.
of an athlete. I don't know where he went to college at. I lost
Okay.
touch with a lot of his boys. I think Donald is right now is deceased. But those boys were good. Uh,
Who was your
we
quarterback?
Leroy Jenkins.
I remember that.
Leroy Jenkins came from Lawless with me.
Okay. Okay.
And at Lawless, he didn't even play quarterback. When he got to Carver, he wound up playing quarterback.
Who were the receivers on that? The main receivers on that team?
We had a big, tall boy. I can't think all them boys' names right now.
Did he go to
But we had this.
Tulane?
No, just the twins went to Tulane the year
Okay.
before me.
Okay. Okay.
And the other boy, I can't think his name right now, but he did pretty good. I don't know if he went to college. If he did, he didn't make it in college.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
it's just back then I don't understand. We had good athletes, and they weren't recruiting. They weren't recruiting well from Louisiana at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you've had a great season. Let's go to the main. When did you guys play St. Aug in your senior year?
Oh man, we played St. Aug. It was like we played a jamboree game, and I think St. Aug was our next game.
So this was a
Yeah,
full game. This wasn't a jamboree.
no, this was a full game. Yeah,
So
it
this
was
is
a full
probably the
game.
first full because the jamboree is like the preseason, right?
Yeah, jamboree like a little
So
preseason.
this, so
It
so,
wasn't a, it wasn't a district game because we wasn't in playing. It
but
wasn't
it
in our
but
district,
it's
but
like.
it was a big rivalry between St. Aug and Carver.
And let me ask you a question, man. When you were at St. Aug, did we play Carver every year?
Every year we were playing every year. And you know
Okay.
what? You know what? When we played St. Aug, when my sophomore year, when I didn't get to play,
Uh
I had
huh.
to sit out that year. St. Aug almost beat a Carver almost beat St. Aug.
And
When we played
the
when we
year
played
that
them,
y'all won the state championship.
yeah, both years. When we played them our junior year,
Okay. Okay.
Carver almost beat St. Aug.
Wow. Both
Our
years.
junior year, St. Aug, Carver lost to us. The running back was going in the end zone. They were like around the 5-yard line, and he was going in the end zone untouched and dropped the football,
Yeah, I seen
fumbled
that.
the football.
That
If he would have
happened.
scored,
Yeah.
if he would have scored, they would have beat us.
Wow. Wow.
Or we would have had to rush. Yeah, it would have because it was close toward the end of the game.
I saw that exact same thing happen on a kickoff return. I was
Mm-hmm.
behind the guy running interference. Me and
Mm-hmm.
another dude, untouched. We have not won a game a season. We playing coin. They're beating us 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Like a minute left in the game, and I'm not gonna call his name. Dropped the ball in a perfect bounce between me and the other guy. It bounced straight to the hands of the dude who was trailing us.
Uh-huh. And the coach asked me when I was at Carver because a lot of the boys running back started getting scared and jealous of me. They thought I was going to take their position.
At Carver.
Yeah, they knew one of the position was going to be mine. So one of the running backs really started getting jealous and booting up and talking all mean like he wanted to do something.
Right.
And the coach asked me what position I wanted to play. The coach asked me this.
Right. Now, when you say what
And
position, they had two different running backs position.
we had three different running backs. We had two wing backs and a fullback.
So y'all had two wing back and a fullback. That was your
Yeah,
offense.
yeah,
So the double wing.
yeah. We had a double wing, and he asked me which one I wanted, and I told him, I said, I started to take the guy who was really booting up, with the bad attitude.
Right.
But the fullback was the one who fumbled the ball the year before, and he wasn't the best running back. The other two boys were decent.
Right.
They were pretty good. So I said, I'll take the fullback position because I played fullback at St. Aug, and I'm used to running in between the tackles.
Got you.
So he said, okay, that's your position. And when the other dude who was booting up to me because he thought I was going to take his position, when he found out I took the fullback position, then he wanted to be my friend. Yeah, but
what was your record your senior year?
Oh man, our record was like 9 and in district we went like 9-1.
Who did y'all
And
lose
we
to?
lost the district game in the Superdome to Walker. And we were supposed to win that game. We didn't have the right shoes in the undone.
Right.
The humidity looked like everything set in the field, and the guys got, they got
Right.
tired. They couldn't breathe. It was hard for me to breathe.
So that was the last game of the season?
That was our last district game of the season. And then we wound up going to playoff. We went 9-0, and we was like number 5 in the state.
Right.
We was like number 5 in the state. And then all of a sudden we lost to Walker. That was for the district.
Right.
Then we went to the playoff, and I forgot who we played. It was out of town. We lost that game. And then we went to a bowl game.
Okay.
And we lost that game. We lost 3 straight games at the end of the season.
After going 9-0.
Yeah.
Was it just one of those? Was people hurt? One of them streaks?
I'm gonna tell you what it was. What it was that after they lost that game to Walker, and then they lost that playoff game, they just didn't care anymore. I saw it even in the practice. Right. I could see their attitudes in practice and everything.
Got you.
They just didn't have that. They didn't have that killer instinct that we had at Santa Ana.
All right, cool. So now let's get back to
that. They didn't have that discipline.
Yeah, exactly. And that comes from the top. So let's get back to the St. Aug game. First game of the season. Break it down. Tell us what happened.
Man, I was hyped, but I try to keep myself low key when I'm hyped like that. So I just stayed low key, and it was a funny feeling because I felt like I was playing against my friends. St. Aug players felt more like teammates to me than Carver players.
Because you spent more time with them.
Exactly.
Right.
So I had to channel.
So that was weird. Like, coming from 2.5 years with these cats, even longer, because some cats had been at Lawless with you. And now,
we were still friends. I was still communicating with Emil, Walden Cage, and a bunch of others on a daily basis. Yeah, that was my boy.
Right.
On a daily basis. On the weekends, we would hook up and go out.
And look,
you know what I'm saying?
This is before, you ain't texting these cats. You talking to them. You see
them. Man, riding in cars with them on weekends at nights and stuff, bro. Right, we were still hanging.
Wow.
So,
right.
So it was one of them type things. Dating, one time, Walden Cage, Eulin Coleman, the basketball player, St. Aug, Emil Hurst, me, all the 4 of us went on a date with girls from Carver.
Oh, okay.
Right. All 4 of us, and this was during the season.
Right.
Before we even played each other.
Wow.
So it was like I was still hanging with my boys from St. Aug. And some of the players from Carver knew that, and they didn't like that. Right. So playing with them on the field when the game started, I was hyped, but I had to keep it low key.
Right.
And started giving me the ball handoff. I started getting little hits and this and that and breaking tackles, and I felt better then. Gotcha. So now we in the game. We playing football, guys. I'm playing against y'all.
You remember how many yards you rushed for?
I rushed for it had to be about close to 90-something yards. It wasn't that much.
Okay.
But 90-something yards.
How many TDs?
I scored 1 TD, which was the last TD of the game, bro. It was the double overtime.
What was the score?
The score was 7-0.
So nobody had scored?
7-0.
Wow.
Double overtime.
And it was double overtime?
No, I think we did score, and I think St. Aug scored. We scored, St. Aug scored, and it went into double overtime. And double overtime in Louisiana football, after the second overtime, each team get the ball 4 times from
Okay.
the 15-yard line, I think,
Yeah.
or the 10-yard line, one of them. And you get 2 possessions. If nobody scored the first possession, they go into another possession.
Okay.
So we got the ball the last 4 downs. Carver got the ball the last 4 downs.
Okay.
And on those 4 downs, the last play of the game, I wind up scoring the touchdown.
How long was the touchdown?
Touchdown was about 6 yards because the first play they gave me the ball and I brought it down to the 5-yard line.
Okay.
The second play they gave it to somebody else and they lost yards. So the
Gotcha.
third play was about I don't know what happened with the third play. I can't really remember, but
What you
the
remember?
fourth down, the head coach started calling me about to send somebody else in the game. And all the other coaches told him, no, leave him in the game
Right.
and give him the ball. That's what they told him.
Wow.
So he called a play for me.
You remember
And
the
he
play?
called it,
You remember the play?
we used to call it 44 power belly, we used to call it. It was
So
the fullback in the backfield,
okay.
the fullback lined up on the right side behind behind the guard,
Okay.
and the quarterback.
Where the wings are?
The wings on the end.
Okay.
They're
Where
right
they
behind the
normally
tight
are?
end.
Okay.
They're both of them right behind the tight end.
Uh-huh.
And one of them, the one on the right, go in motion behind the fullback, like he's gonna get the ball. And the quarterback open up to the left side and come all the way around. The fullback hesitate, like he take a jab step, reading to see what's gonna happen,
Uh-huh.
and he hand the ball off to the fullback going up the full hole.
Okay.
And the hole was open. The only thing they had was the safety, my cousin, Walden Cage, coming at me. He read it perfect. But Walden Cage had a habit of putting his head down to come hit you, taking his eyes off you.
Right.
And when he did that, I spent on him.
Ooh.
He went right past me. And I spent
And
him.
so you knew this.
Yeah. I went right in the end zone.
Wow.
And that's how we won the game, the last play of the game.
And I know.
Man, them people charged the field. That's the most people I ever saw in the stands
Wow.
when I played football at Tech Gormley. That was one of the times, because that's saying, I went to playoff games back in the 70s, and it used to be crowded on both sides.
Right.
But this time for a city game between St. Aug and Carver, the stands were packed. And that was the first time I ever saw that.
So this the second game technically of the season.
Yeah.
In your senior year, you are now a legend at Carver.
Yeah.
How was it? Was I'm assuming it must have felt like being a senior in college.
Man, after that game, I don't know what it felt like. All I know is that I cried like a baby because I felt like I beat my friend.
Right.
After people came on the field and charged the field and congratulated, I was trying to pick my way through, like trying to get out for somebody, because all the girls and people would come and shake my hand and grab me and give me hugs. And, I was like, man, let me get off the field. When I got off the field,
right.
Yeah, when I got off the field, because I wasn't excited like everybody was.
Yeah,
I got numb. My mental and everything, I just got numb because I was happy we won, but I was dejected that I beat my friends and the people I won state championships.
That's like, say, if you were playing for another team and you had to beat the Saints in the playoffs or the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Something like that. And you've been a lifelong, man. That's an interesting and weird position to be in.
It was, man. It was but it was a necessary action, but it was a weird position to be in. Because I'm telling you, I wasn't celebrating on the sideline. I could have went over and I didn't even go greet my St. Aug players.
Right.
I looked over there, but I felt more sad than anything.
Right, because you knew how they felt.
Yeah. But then some of them did come to me and told me, shook my hand and give me a hug.
Right.
To congratulate me on the win.
Right.
But to me it was like, damn, man, I felt more hurt than anything.
Oh no, that makes sense.
And then we got on my auntie. I didn't cry until we started going to the bus, and I ran into my auntie. And my auntie came and gave me a hug. And when she gave me a hug, I just started crying. And the guys on the bus, some of the guys were like, "What are you crying for? He just won."
Right.
I say, man. And so when I did get to talk to them about it, I got to let them know, man, you never understand what it felt like unless you was in my shoes. You know,
Exactly.
those guys was
That was my
guys I
brothers, man.
played with.
That was
Yeah,
my
that's my
brothers,
brothers,
right?
guys I played
And
with
look,
for
you went to
years under
war with
my.
these guys. You know what I'm
Yeah, we won
saying?
state, and the coaches understood. The kids didn't understand until
Right,
later.
right, right,
You
right.
know, I got people come to me and tell me about that now, and they say, "I understand, bro." You know, now, but when they were younger, they couldn't understand.
Yeah, they
You
kids
know.
like, yo, man, you with us now? You know?
Yeah, and I say I am with y'all. I'm glad to be teammates with y'all. You all my teammates. You know, I say, but that's my teammates too, and they
Wow.
could never be not my teammate
Right,
because I don't won state championship with them twice.
right,
And I say
right.
that's what I want to do with y'all. I want to win championships with y'all. That's what
Wow.
really solidify your relationship as brothers and teammates.
Absolutely. Look, bro. I'm pretty sure everyone who you played with on that state championship team, but y'all got a bond forever. Even if y'all weren't
Hmm.
tight during that season, because
Yeah,
guys be kind of clicked up by positions or whatever. When you
yeah.
run across those guys in the future, they're your brother.
Man, them boys at St. Aug still look at me as a Purple Knight. They
Yeah.
still accept me as a Purple Knight.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, when
That's
I
it.
run into them, when I go to their
Yep.
homecoming, them, when I go sometime, or if I see them in the
Yep.
football game, I still got people to this day. If I post something on Facebook about St. Aug, Carver people going, "What you doing? You a Ram? You did that?" And then the St. Aug people come in, it's battling back and forth.
Right. Right.
So I got to the point where I don't post nothing about St. Aug.
Right. Look, man.
But
You look at the time, man. We talking about 1980, 1981
yeah.
when this happened. St. August coming off of two back-to-back state championships at the highest
Hmm.
classification all-black Catholic school in
Yeah.
New Orleans. They were the pinnacle of black high schools and band and football and even basketball. And so this was a big thing. And then Carver was like a feared school because it was the ninth ward, and every neighborhood in New Orleans has a section that has a reputation. But
Yeah.
I will meet cats from in Baton Rouge and other parts of like say, man, I be hearing about the Desire, man. Well, and
Hmm.
so they, like you said, your mom, y'all live not too far from the projects, and your mom was
Yeah.
like, and look, my mother grew up in the projects and would threaten to
Hmm.
send me to school in the projects if I was not back to the food.
Man,
And
look, we would have been living in the projects, but my mom she didn't take the voucher. She said she bought a house in the lower ninth ward to keep us out of the project.
bam, break the
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. But like you said, man, I my connections through Charles. Well, like I said, I had a grandmother that lived in the projects.
Hmm.
All my family moved out, and Charles Como, that was Andre McGee and Bunny and all of them were his cousins. So that's how I got to meet all of the guys. And after we got out of high school, I knew a bunch of dudes, bro. Most of my friends were
Hmm.
from Carver, bro.
Uh-huh.
From simply living in Gentilly Woods and meeting them in the mall or whatever,
Yeah.
and just meeting these cats. And it's some of the cool, man. I love cats from Carver, man.
Hmm.
They real, they down to earth.
Yeah.
Uh, Matter of fact,
They got some. Yeah, they got some.
one of your classmates, John Reynolds. Remember John played linebacker,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, I know
yeah,
John Reynolds.
yeah. I got to hang out with John a bit. Was Andre McGee on the team when you played your senior year?
Andre McGee.
That's Bunny's brother,
I don't know Andre
dark
McGee.
skin Andre with the gold tooth. He played
I don't
DB.
know.
I think he's 2 years under me, so he probably like 3 years under you.
Yeah, so no, he must have got there after I
Yeah,
left.
yeah, yeah. He was
But
there.
the saying, a saying was invented after that, after I made the winning touchdown to be sent off.
What was it?
Cause the people from Carver was bragging, talking about we beat St. Aug. And the people from St. Aug started saying it take a night to be the night.
You know what? I've heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
That's where it came from then.
I heard that. Man, there's
It
some
took a
cats.
night to be the night.
Man, I know some guys. Most of the people who might listen to this don't know what the heck we're talking about, but there are some guys who came up around that season and was down into high school football, and this is going to be a treat for them because we have
Yeah.
these conversations away from
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
It's history, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
It's
tell you that
history.
all the time, and you be like, "Oh man, it was just what I did. I was just doing what I do." So
Yeah.
you get all these accolades at Carver. You go 9-3. How was the recruitment? Who was recruiting you to
I
play ball?
I had can't remember the name of them. I had a team from California, which was a junior college,
Uh-huh.
and I had another team from I think it was in Illinois, somewhere in Chicago area.
Southern Illinois.
No, it wasn't Southern Illinois.
Okay.
It was a JC.
Okay.
Because we had this Rodney Baker, white guy, who was a coach for us for his first year,
Uh-huh.
and he was from that area. He went to school out there, and he asked me that I want to go there. I didn't get any major recruits, man,
Okay.
for
Was
some reason. I just didn't
was
get
it
up
because
there.
of your size or because you
I
changed
I think
schools?
it was because of my size.
Okay.
I think it was because of my size.
What were your
Now I did have was Tulane was recruiting me,
uh-huh.
and when Tulane was recruiting me, I can't think of that dude's name, that coach's name. The
Not
year because he
Gibson.
recruited, huh?
Not Vince
Vince
Gibson.
Gibson.
Vince Gibson.
Vince Gibson.
Oh, look at
Vince
that
Gibson.
boy. That little boy right there could run.
Yeah. Vince Gibson liked short running back.
Yeah.
Vince Gibson was recruiting, he recruited the twins to go there
Right. Right.
from Carver. So the twin used to always come back and tell me Vince Gibson looking at you. He interested in it. He talked to Coach Harris about me and everything.
Right.
And I would have went there. I don't know how much I would have been ready for the academics or how they did with the academics with the athletes, but I would have went there.
Man, I
And
would have loved. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm a huge to this day. I'm a huge Tulane fan. I'm a Tulane fan
yeah,
before I'm an LSU fan.
I love Tulane, man.
You know why I grew up. I went to school in
Mm-hmm,
school off of Cameroon, uptown, and all my friends lived in Pigeon Town. I lived in Holly Grove.
mm-hmm,
We used to ride our bikes and go play in Tulane on the days on Saturdays, off season, and we could ride around through the gate, all through the thing. We couldn't get on the field, but we could
mm-hmm.
ride underneath the stadium. And so
Yeah.
from that point, the Billy Ellender show. Remember
Mm-hmm.
being a kid, the bald headed Tulane coach, Vince Gibson with those excited descriptions. Bro,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have loved to see you be a greenie, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, what happened was he got fired
Yeah,
going into that year.
yeah,
And new coach who came in, I didn't hear anything from him.
right, right.
But Vince Gibson, I was on Vince Gibson list.
Man,
And
that'll be
Vince Gibson, then years later they had Reginelli, a little short running back.
Reggie Reginelli. Yep.
Yeah, they like short running back.
Yeah. So
But
okay. So so what did you end up doing after
well,
you?
going like I say, I didn't go to the JCs, and then the white guy we had on our team, Coach Baker, he asked me that I won't go to the school that he went to. He said they would love
And
a
this
player
is
with.
your coach at Carver.
Yeah, he told me he said it's gonna be cold as hell out there, and I
Uh,
hated playing in cold weather.
right, right,
He said it's gonna be cold, and then and the other thing was that scared me. I didn't know nobody. I
right,
didn't have nobody out there with me,
right,
so I I didn't take it. He could have got me at a JC over there,
right.
and I can't think of the name of that school now. But right now, it's a big school.
Really?
It's well known. It's a well known. All them little schools well known now.
Yeah, right. Because you got social media now,
Exactly,
TV
in the big
shows,
different divisions.
right, right.
So I wound up going because Coach Walsh left LSU and got hired at Southern.
As the head coach.
Yeah, from St. Aug.
Right,
He was our head coach at St. Aug, Coach Washington. Coach Walsh got hired from LSU, left LSU, and went to Southern, took that head coaching position.
right.
They also offered him the athletic director, but he didn't take it. And that was his biggest flaw, his biggest mistake he made. He should have took that too.
You said the
He got
they should have gave. You said he should have taken the athletic director
They,
position as
they
well.
offered him the head coaching position in the athletic director position.
And he didn't
And
take.
he didn't take the athletic director position because he never was an athletic director.
Gotcha.
So he just took the head coach position. So he was going out there, Coach Burns, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna go out there
Right,
because I know them, and I knew Emil went out there. My older brother, was going out there. A lot of people that I knew was out there.
right,
So I went out there. When I went out there, it didn't work out. There was a lot of favoritism. Coach Walsh not taking the athletic director position. They had another coach named what's that boy named Bennett, something Bennett. He used to quarterback at Southern back in the '60s,
okay,
and he was the athletic, he was the offensive coordinator. Plus, he had a lot of pull because he graduated. He played football.
He
That
had that legacy, yeah.
Yeah, so he practically ran a team. He was doing all kind of stuff. He had people on the team that shouldn't have been on the team,
Right, right, right.
and they had people. A little boy playing running back from out there in Baton Rouge area, where he recruited Baton Rouge, Texas, and Florida.
Okay.
So he used to always put his people on the field and Washington, Washington like he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He had no control of it,
Right.
you know. So Bennett was taking control of the team, and he didn't know, and it wasn't working well. So what happened was, I make a long story short, we had a spring game. At the
Uh-huh.
end of the season, they had a spring game, and I went out there, and the same thing during the season. I was on the scout team because I was a freshman to walk on,
Uh-huh.
and they had me, playing on the scout team. And all of the defenders, the starting defensive players, used to be like, "Hey, coach, this little dude, he need to be over there with y'all." That's what he used to be telling the offensive
Right,
coaches
right,
and players.
right, right.
Because I used to be running all over them on the scout team. So we did the spring game after the season was over, and for some reason, Coach Bennett picked me on his team. I got Drew on his team, and when I got on his team, when we were playing the spring game, he playing everybody in the game but me.
Huh.
We got down to the fourth quarter. I hadn't played. I would walk up to him and say, "Coach," and he'd look at me and turn his head and start calling plays again. So got down to the fourth quarter. I just ran out on the field and told the running back, he out. I'm in right now. Coach said he out. He ran to the sideline, and coach said, "What you doing out?" He said, "Drew told me you said get out." He said, "Man, get back in there." And he came back and he said, Coach said, "Man, you're not in, I'm in." I said, "I'm in, I'm not getting out." And quarterback said, "Somebody got to go." I said, "I'm not going. We're going to get a penalty because I'm not leaving."
Uh-huh.
So we wind up getting a penalty.
What?
And coach told the other boy, "Get out, let him in. He won't play, okay?" What you mean I won't play? Everybody's supposed to play the spring game.
Right, right.
So full quarter, about half of the full quarter over with, he called my play. And he called a play for me. It was like a sweep going outside. I had to either read to go outside or cut back inside, depending on where the end was being blocked.
Right.
So I cut it back inside because it was blocking the in out, and it was one of them quick sharp cuts.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to cut back to straighten up to go upfield. Man, I ran about 40, 50 yards on that run. And
Man.
everybody in the stands jump up because they're like, "Who that little short dude is?" And coach was like, "You look like you want," because I went out of bounds right by the coach. He's like, "You look like you want to run the ball." And I cursed him. I said, "Yeah, Emma, you know I want to run the ball. So you stop playing all your favorite players who you recruit." I went off on him on the field.
Wow.
So I went back on the field and he called my play again. And I got like about another 10-yard run.
Right.
Man, them people in the stands was all up and on, bro. Everybody was cheering. But that's what happened there, bro. I had you know, it's favoritism. And it got to me.
And that's at all levels.
Yeah,
In
it is.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
I've
It
seen
is.
it. Yeah.
It
So
is. I seen it in high school a little bit
yeah,
too.
yeah. And look, even in park ball, I've seen
Yeah,
it
I
in
don't
park ball.
see, and I don't play that, especially in park ball. I don't play that at no level, but especially in park ball,
Right.
man, you can't do that to them kids,
No,
man.
man, you got to. I'm gonna tell you what the deal is, man. At a certain, look, especially when they just starting to play, it's really about teaching them the game and giving them repetitions. You
Hmm.
can see who really want it and who don't. You know, now when you get
Yeah.
to when they about 10, 11, 12, maybe even 9, when you got cats who really know this what they want to do, I can see cats putting winning because every year you're gonna have a kid who's never played before,
Hmm.
and so I remember something you told me about when you had fumbles at St. Aug. You said that instead of giving you any kind of corrective measures, they just
Hmm.
pull you out and fuss at you, cuss you out,
Yeah. Yeah. It took
instead of
me. That was a
saying,
state
"Hey,
game. That was a state game, bro.
right, right."
I was gonna get the MVP that game, bro, because
So,
they couldn't stop me.
so tell me about that story. Tell me that story.
In the state game, man, our first possession. I had them fumble the ball a couple of times throughout the season. And he never really talked to me like you said, correct. He would always fuss at you and down you and talk bad to you. That was Coach Burns. who a legend coach right now, coached at Alabama, coached at Tulane,
Right.
coached at South Carolina. Now right now he coaching with the New York Giants, running
Okay.
back coach in the NFL.
Okay.
You know, he was young at the time. You know, I talked to him since, and he practically apologized to me, letting me know he was young and he didn't know really what he was doing.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I took that as an apology. You know,
Right.
and
Right.
he's a legend now. You know,
Right. Right.
NFL running back coach right now.
Right.
But he never really focused and figured out why I was fumbling the ball. You know, and he never corrected it. And in the state game, it was third down for us, and they're like third and 15, and he did a draw play, gave me the ball, whoa, wop, 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 juke all kind of people on the play, got the first down, got it, that play got called back, so it's third and even longer, third and about 20, 25, and he called the same draw play. And I did the same thing. Juke people got past. And when I juked somebody, what I realized was after I got older, what I was doing when I juke,
Uh-huh.
instead of keeping the ball pressed up against my body, my arms would balance me out
Exactly.
and go up
Exactly.
with the ball in it. And when I juke back, the ball's still sticking out. And on that particular play, the guy hit the ball with his hand. I hadn't got past him. I was about to run for a long touchdown or a lot of yards, bro.
Right.
And the boy slapped the ball because my arm was sticking out like a wing with the ball in it. And and I had to stop and try to come back, but somebody had to recover the ball.
Right.
And he never put me back in the game after that. You know, but what I realized on those two runs, them boys couldn't handle me.
Right.
They couldn't handle my quickness.
Right.
And all I needed was another opportunity to make up for my mistake.
And you'd have made him
I
forget
played
that
even
fumble.
I played even harder when I messed up. I
Right.
needed to make up for my team.
Right. Right.
And they didn't give me that opportunity to make it up.
And one of the things I was telling a friend of mine earlier was that I told him that story that you told me, and I said that back then guys weren't going for the ball as much. Now they're ball hawking.
Exactly.
And you got drills of high and tight, you know, how to carry the ball.
You can carry it however you want it nowadays.
Right.
They coming in there to punch it out.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't care how you hold it. And see, but me at the time, I was small. I had small arms. And you know what I'm thinking? Because I look at footballs today, the balls we played was big and fatter.
You think so? Or maybe we were smaller.
I promise you, to me, they look like they were bigger. And I what you just said too, I think of that too.
Right.
But for some reason, they look like they were bigger and
Right.
rounder.
Right. Right. So I never
right
played
now they're
running back like you did, so you would know better than I would.
Right now, they look like they're a little skinnier because they,
Uh-huh.
a little thinner, not as fat as they were. And me with us being short with short arms, it was hard to protect that big old ball back then.
Your senior year, what was your measurements?
My height?
How tall were you, and how much did you weigh?
Right now I'm no more than 5'5.5".
So back then you were 5'5".
Back then I was a little shorter, bro. I had to be a little shorter.
So what, about
but
5'3",
I was like
5'2"?
I was like 145, 150 pounds.
150 pounds. It's crazy, bro, because you look bigger than that. You weren't tall, but you had. I remember you had
thick. It was muscle.
Yeah. Because your neck, you had like a weightlifter's neck.
Yeah, because that's all I used to do. I used to get in those. So now we had this little thing with these air shocks on it. Yeah, you go side to side, up and down with your head. Yep. I used to get on it because I feared breaking my neck. Because I used to hit people with my head when I run them over. I used to put my face mask right in the chest.
Right.
The crown of my helmet and my face mask right in their chest. Right. If they don't get lower than me, and that's how I used to get that leverage on them.
Right. Now, later on, you learned how to use your shoulders.
Well, I always did use the shoulder, but it's just that was an advantage being short and somebody coming at you high, and they can't. And
that's
get
how
lower
they coached us. They say put your face right in his chest, right?
Exactly. I didn't put, and Burns coached that too.
Right.
So he used to tell you bow your neck, and it was the way you tighten up on your neck and bow your neck in your shoulders, and put that face so it don't bend. Right. You don't just go in there with a loose neck. You have to learn how to tighten up and bow it in there.
Right. You look like somebody took a bodybuilder and shrunk him about half a foot because you had it's like even though you were a short cat, you were built. You weren't when you say 140 pounds, I thought maybe 170, even
Mm-mm.
at your height, because you just look so thick.
Mm-mm.
And you were even with that thickness and that power, you had this
Yeah.
quickness and this speed. You had both, because quickness and speed are two different things. Fast and
Yeah,
quick.
it is. It is. I had more quickness than speed though.
But it's crazy because your quickness made you look
Exactly.
faster than you were.
Exactly. But I tell people all the time, if you could have, if in a long run, like after if we run in 100, after that 50, 60 yard, you can come get me.
Right.
If you had that maintained speed. I didn't have that. I didn't have that speed after 60 yards.
But you had so much separation from your ability to shake guys, you
Hmm.
can get to a wide open space, and then once you got in front of them, they're not gonna catch you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. But
Wow.
I knew they if they had speed, they can catch me.
And that's
You
that's
know.
what that's why I felt electric, man, because it was almost like every time they get. I tell you what it's like now. You ever watch that young boy at Memphis,
Oh,
Ja Morant?
oh, that boy there, that's my boy, man.
Well,
That
that's
boy there.
I'm telling you, brother. First couple of times that we, as a football crowd, saw you carry the ball,
Hmm.
it's like, oh man, who's this little dude? So then we look at the number. You got your little program. You say Bruce Jackson. Oh, that's that dude. Okay. Da-da-da-da. And then next thing you know, boom. And then you know how it is with the crowd, man. You get that ball as soon as you break over, and even if it's a 10-yard run, all of a
Hmm.
sudden everybody start getting riled up
Yeah.
because they like, oh, he about to break it. Then you get tackled. So then it got to a point where they there's anticipation to see what you're going to do when you got the
Hmm.
ball.
Yeah.
And none of the other running backs really have. I can't speak for Juice because I left
Yeah.
after
Juice
Juice
had
was
that
done.
too. He had that.
Yeah, yeah.
He had it.
But I didn't see him personally like I saw you.
Hmm. I saw him
Uh,
at practice. I never really saw him during the game,
my
but he had that ability.
one of my favorite running backs was Emil, bro. I don't know him
Yeah.
personally, but I just he wasn't a big dude, man, but his toughness, man.
Yeah. He was big enough. He was big enough. Yeah.
Now,
He was tough, bro. Meal was real tough.
yeah,
He relied. He didn't have the quickness,
uh-huh,
but he relied on his toughness.
right,
Once and he didn't even have downfield speed, but he had that speed where you can turn that corner on you
and he'll get you,
and he can beat you around that corner.
right,
But he didn't. You can go catch him if you wanted to, but if you had speed, he
right,
didn't really have downfield. He had vision. You know how to run them outside runs.
got you.
He can run them outside run. He can run between the tackles.
And he
But
could
if
finish.
you
He was
need,
a good finisher.
yeah, if that's what he was better at, finishing.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I like the
would
way he
he,
finished his runs.
he would run you over. He focused on running you over.
And it was crazy because he wasn't like Irving Hadley,
No,
He
he wasn't
wasn't a
big. He wasn't that big. He was,
he might have
like
been like
5'9".
160, huh?
Yeah,
155,
he has to be a
160.
one. He has to be like 160.
Probably about
Yeah,
what, 5'8", 5'9", something like
he was
that.
about 5'9".
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a
Man,
finisher.
yeah, man. It's crazy to be fans of guys your age. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But that's
And you
that's.
know,
Go ahead. What you about to say?
Burns drilled in us how to finish
Ah,
and how to put that head down and run people over.
and get that extra yard or two.
Yeah, and Mule, that was already in Emil. I had it in me too, but I developed it more once I got around them.
Where did Emil come from?
Emil came from Frederick Middle
Oh,
School.
okay, okay.
He went to Frederick. We
That's
played. My first time meeting him was I played against him at Lawless. When I
see.
was at Lawless, he was at Frederick. We played against
See,
each
I,
other.
I didn't. I didn't remember. Not too many cats I remember from Frederick. You know.
Yeah, him, Kevin Johnson,
Yeah, I remember Kevin Johnson.
a couple of others. They were from
Okay,
Frederick.
gotcha.
And Emil played at Southern Baton Rouge. He messed his neck up like that. He had pins in his broke his neck like that. He
Oh,
had
I didn't
pins
know
in
that.
his head and his neck.
Wow.
He had that little brace on. I went to see him in the hospital. He had that little metal brace on his neck and in his head.
Halo.
They
Yeah,
stopped him
yeah,
from turning. You
yeah.
know, he
Wow.
had messed his neck up like that playing at Southern.
Does he still have any recurrence of those issues with that?
No, not that I know of.
That's
Not that I
good.
know of.
That's good.
You know.
I ain't gonna
You
lie,
know.
man. That was one of my biggest worries was to break my neck playing football. You know,
Yeah, it was mine too, bro. That's why when I got, when I got the call, I put a collar on.
and did you feel more confident having that on?
Yeah, because with the collar kind of stopped my helmet from going back
Yeah,
and bending my
exactly.
head back.
Right.
You know, it stopped it from going backwards.
Right.
And that was one of my favorites because I used to put that head down on you too. But I used to put it down on you when I saw you was off balance and I can catch you with it.
Yeah. When you got the momentum
Yeah,
and
if
you
I
can
ain't
run
got
through you.
if I can't run you over and you a big dude, I'm going now. I'm going under you. You're
Yeah.
gonna tackle me because I'm
Right.
going under you. You're
Right.
getting under. You're not gonna hit me.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But if I can get under you, my thing was to get in your chest and then under your neck.
So you was one of those cats who cats rarely got a solid lick on you, right?
If you got a solid lick, it was because somebody was holding me up,
Somebody's yeah, right.
or either I didn't see you coming.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
know, if you got a solid lick.
Who
Because
was one of
Tank
the
Landry, Douglas Landry, remember Tank?
yeah.
When I was at Carver, we played St. Tank, they was holding me up. I was running and still dragging about two people on each side of me.
Yeah.
And Tank came, I couldn't get down. Tank came from the front. And when he hit me in my chest with his shoulder pad. And he stood me up. And he didn't wrap up. He knocked the St. people who was holding me on each side,
Uh-huh.
he knocked them off of me. And I kind of bounced back a little bit and went around and kept my balance and went around.
Wow.
And that was a hard hit because he
Right.
came from a running start.
Right.
And I couldn't go down because they was holding me up.
Right.
So I had to take the impact, kind of lowered my shoulder a little bit to take the blunt of that impact.
Wow.
And when he hit me, I was going down. I was trying to go down. When he hit me so hard, he stood me back up and the tacklers fell off me.
And look,
And I got like
I was about to ask you who was the hardest hit that you'd ever received as a running back.
Tank.
That was it? Yep.
That was him. He was the hardest hitting person I would ever win again.
That's why he got the legacy that he's got. Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
You go to Louisiana Tech. He in Louisiana. He got pictures of him in Louisiana Tech.
I saw that.
Athletic run. Him and Terry Bradshaw.
I saw him. He had tried out for the Saints after he left Canada, I think, at one point.
Yeah, he got it. He had the contract.
Wow,
I
didn't know that.
They paid him his signing bonus, and he never showed up for training camp.
Wow.
He was gonna be playing with the Saints. He never showed up for training camp.
Wow.
So he was hooked on them drugs.
Yeah. My first experience with Tank was playing against him in Little League, and he played for Willie Hall.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. I never played against him.
And I think Darren's little brother was pitching. Brian Dixon.
Yeah.
Was the pitcher, and I had struck out, but he had dropped the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I ran, and he chased me down, and it felt like we were playing football when he hit me with the ball, bro. When he touched me with the ball in the back, I literally fell to the ground, bro, because it felt like he punched me. And we jumped up, and I'm like, hey, that ain't legal. He can't. Umpire.
He was aggressive, man.
Yeah, he was.
Very aggressive.
Yeah.
When I was at Lawless, I was playing baseball too. And I got up to the plate I can't remember what middle school Dixon went to. His little brother.
Uh-huh.
But I got up the bat and he was the pitcher.
Willie Hall.
No, this was middle school.
Oh, okay, middle school.
Philip, it was either Philip or Frederick.
Yeah, Phillips.
We got up the bat and this boy was the pitcher. Man, that boy threw a ball. That damn ball looked like it was coming behind me. And I stepped back to get out the way, and that bitch curved across the plate. I'm like, damn, what was that? Coach said, now you know what the curveball look like,
right. Said, bro.
Coach said, now you know the curveball look like, son.
Curveball that made a lot of brothers quit baseball.
Yeah, and I look out there at him, and he was laughing.
Especially at that age, bro.
He's been my boy ever since, bro. When he got to St. Augustine, that was my boy, man.
Yeah, he a good dude, man.
That dude threw a curveball at me twice, man. I was like, man, coach, how supposed to hit that? I can't see what it. The ball behind me, bro. The ball curved across the plate. I'm like, oh, long. He had me scratching my head walking off.
That's hilarious. Well, look, B, this has been great, bro.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, thank you so much for your time, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man,
Thank
this is legendary, bro. This is there's a lot of folks who gonna really enjoy this, man. Some old school stories about a time that away from you we often talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that people get to get it out of the legends' mouth, because even though we're in New Orleans and we just dealing, with these two little schools, this meant a lot to a lot of people.
It did. It does.
And it's part of our history, bro. So God bless you. Tell the family. Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk, man. You got kids. You had a son. When I first moved back from California, you had a mini me, your son Baja,
Yeah.
who was man. He was a little bitty dude, but he
Man.
was a natural football player,
Man.
a natural athlete. Because I seen him play baseball too.
Baseball, basketball, soccer, everything.
He's that dude.
If I was anything, he made me so proud, man. If I was anything like he was on the field, for as young as he was, the things he did on the field was amazing.
Right.
And it just came natural to him.
Right.
If I was anything like that, bro, I'm thankful to God.
And look, I am saying he's natural. He had your DNA, but also the things that you did without being overbearing. That's what I really respected. When I saw you making sure that, hey, this is what you want to do. I don't want you to do it because I want you to do it. And when he did it, you gave him the tools, and he took to them. And it never was no, oh man, I gotta, a lot of times when you're a coach's son or whatever, it's that military thing. No, man.
Yeah.
I love watching the fact that he loved the game that you love, and you were able to give him those tools to be successful. And then his natural talent just took that and brought it to another level.
Exactly.
Well, God bless, man.
God bless me with the opportunity, man.
Hey, man, you're a great athlete, great father, great person, great friend. Keep on doing your thing, my brother.
Peace out. It's been fun, man. I really enjoyed it, man.
Likewise, bro. God bless, bro.
All right, my brother. Take care. Call me whenever, man.
Will do, bro.